Well, there is certainly a whole lot to cover. Taking a look back at EW's livestream today, where they showcased everything coming with the December 3rd update, other than the great ones. That is something they've chosen not to show. And by the way, early access will indeed be this weekend. So very soon we'll be getting out there, testing out the GSPs, Salzwiesen Park, the new weapons, and all that stuff. And we will start with EW stream today with the weapon pack. So we get a quick look at all 4 new weapons in the inventory. Of course, the 3 weapons from the Hunter's Choice pack, and then the 10 gauge is coming along with the update itself. So we've got the Force Elite 300. We also see 2 customization slots, so I'm imagining the barrel and other metal components, plus the stock. When we hear the gunshot and the rechambering, though, that's really, really cool.
Satisfying.
So 6-round capacity, nice looking iron sights on this one, and I think it should be really good for a smaller game because it's got such a fast follow-up. And also, Jaxy did eventually shoot some Black Cross with it, and obviously unethical, but it worked pretty darn good.
Did I miss that? Are we glitched? No, okay, just making sure.
Next, we've got the Johansson 450. This one's got 3 customization slots, and of course it is wood on the stock, so we can use all those great wood grain options for the cosmetics. This one being fired, it is surprisingly fast, at least in my opinion. 5-round magazine, really fast follow-ups though, as you see.
I like a more open iron, but it's not bad. Sounds good.
Now the iron sights are bulky without a doubt, more so than I would like, and I do think that's going to make longer shots more difficult if you're using the iron sights. I think most of us generally have a scope, but if for whatever reason your loadout doesn't allow for that, those irons probably aren't what you want on a map with longer shots, but the shot sound, in my opinion, sounded really, really good. But I do think we're all here for the Valgarda 375. This one's got 3 customization slots, wood grain once again, lighter kind of color for the standard, and I really love the recoil plate they have on that too. I mean, the 375, you're gonna need a recoil plate. So really, smart design decision there. This thing, it has a boom. We'll put it that way.
Oh yeah. Big gun. Can I just direct you? Look at that. Not too shabby, Abby.
Now the irons look a little rough again, not as bulky as on the 450, but certainly not something I'm trying to make a 300-meter shot with iron sights. Great animation chambering the next round. I really like you can see the round ejecting, and then I love the sounds of reloading as well. You just hear like the mechanical sounds of it. I think it's really, really good. 4-round capacity, and all I can say, class 7 and up, better beware, because this thing is going to be in a lot of people's loadouts. Also, all those weapons do have the same zeroing ranges. They'll max at 300, which is going to make for, as long as you have the scopes anyway, good long-range shooting for all 3. Then we've got the Gopi 10-gauge Grand. This one also has 3 customization slots, and I think it's a sweet-looking gun. Just sleek design. Definitely going to be blasting some birds with this thing very soon during early access, and we'll probably mess with the clay range as well.
I love the look of that. Down that barrel. It's one of the nicest looking shotguns yet.
I do think the reload animations may be a little bit slow there, but I'm interested to see how it goes with lightning hands. I'm not sure how Jaxy has his character spec. That's something we'll also mess with in early access though. So next we move to the map itself, and obviously tons of water. It is a bird hunting map, plenty of fields as well, and it looks fairly flat. But there's some hilly areas as well, so it's going to make for a good, diverse range, even though it's obviously much smaller than a typical map, according to what Jaxy said, about 1/3 the size. But it's a sweet little deal, especially with the new Great Ones. Both Great One species, by the way, will be on Salzwiesen Park, and it feels to me, because it's such a small map, we might be able to be really efficient hunting this thing, especially if that's the map anyone chooses for their Great One grinds. And hey, maybe early access, that's something else we can try to focus in and narrow our focus on those. See if maybe that is the direction we'd want to go. So we also get to see the locations of the outposts, a decent number of fast travel locations just built in. And there's a couple of different points where Jaxy kind of like rides along the roads, you get a good look at the field and some of the scenic views. And also late in the stream, just walking through the marshy areas, it just looks like a map you'd want to hunt waterfowl on. It's kind of reminiscent to me of Rougarou Bayou, not by the looks or the environment, but just if you were there in real life, stepping into this place, you would just know there's a really good population of birds and a diverse population as the map has. Speaking of that, 15 species on Salzwiesen Park. 2, of course, are new. Those are the Gadwall and Ferruginous duck, or Ferruginous duck. I'm still not sure how to say that. The other 13, though, Grey-lag goose, Tundra bean goose, ringneck pheasant, which of course has the great one, black grouse, European rabbit, common raccoon and raccoon dog, red fox, our other great one for this map, goldeneye, Eurasian teal, mallard, Eurasian widgeon, and tufted duck. So again, very much a bird hunting experience. But a couple of other animals out there as well, the raccoons, raccoon dogs, red foxes, Euro rabbits. There's going to be more than just birds, which I think is going to just make for a more replayable experience. So lots of birds, and of course we know there are some changes to how waterfowl take off and land, as well as where they'll land relative to decoys. So excited to kind of see that in action as well. Now there was a quote from Jaxy regarding the great ones, and I'll just go ahead and let you listen to this.
We did hold back the fox. We won't be sharing any of the Great One Fox images. I will not be spawning them in today, hence why I'm not using the debug console and flying around. The temptations are too real. But you guys are going to have a little bit upon release. Don't worry, we won't make you wait too long. We want to get it out there. Obviously, we want everyone to see it, but we're going to give you guys that first week to see how we do.
A little bit upon release. I can't tell, does he mean they're going to give the community some time? He talked about it later on, and I kind of maybe heard it that way. Gonna give the community some time to maybe see if anyone gets one, and then they'll show them off? Something like that. That was kind of how I read it. I'm just curious to see how that plays out. And by the way, speaking of foxes, we did actually get to see a common fox, and you can see the visual rework as it kind of runs by there, and the animations look really, really clean, and that's just so important. If you're doing a Great One grind, and you're killing hundreds, maybe thousands of these things, if they look good, if they act realistic, it just makes that grind a little more tolerable, so I like what they've done there. Speaking of Great One grinds, pop resets for just foxes and pheasants, so no others, the cinnamon teal, European rabbit, these things that are getting the reworks, they will not have a population reset. Only the foxes and the pheasants as they're getting the Great Ones added. There's another quote that I want to play from Jaxy as well.
Is there a weight difference between the diamond and great ones for foxes and pheasants? There's always a little something different. You're going to have to figure that one out. I can't give you everything, but there is a difference. Yes, there is a difference.
So, it's not confirmation, but there's something different from a normal fox and pheasant, but he didn't confirm that it's a weight difference, and I don't know if it's just a visual thing, because like obviously we kind of know that. I don't know what to expect for that. Maybe the range will be different, but the max weight's the same. That is another thing we're just going to simply have to wait and see. But just hearing the talk of new Great Ones and, what they're going to bring to the game and all the differences. I mean, we looked at the 8 variations for Great One Pheasants, the concept art that was released the other day. It's just a really exciting time. So we do get to see the Gadwall collar and the sound it makes. I think we're going to be playing that a lot, whether we're calling in Gadwall or not, because it sounds awesome. There was the talk about the changes to the pheasants with the ground mechanic being more forgiving. So, sometimes you'll take that shot of the pheasant just as it begins the landing animation, even if it's 10 meters above the ground, and you'll get the grounded score. Hopefully that kind of thing goes away. Then we finally move on to the GSP, and the first thing we see is the revamped dog wheel. You can see some slots are missing there from the wheel, and then as Jaxy moves closer to the dog, other slots pop up for petting it, giving it a treat, all that kind of stuff. So I like what they're doing there. It used to be super cluttered. That's going to clean it up a good bit. We also see the dog menu and how the dog needs to be at max level to achieve that expert dog feature, which I cannot wait to use. And then, you know, obviously that ability to do the jobs of 2 different dog breeds. That's something we'll experiment with in early access, no doubt. But I'm really looking forward to just seeing how well they do that. We also see the point menu. Now, Jaxy didn't talk about this, but since it was visible on screen, you can, it looks like, essentially choose the class of animal you want your dog to look for just by double tapping the keybind, in this case B there in the top right. And that's going to cycle through the classes from 1 to 9. I'm curious how precise you can be beyond just the class. Maybe by picking up a track. We know there's that spot point feature where if you spot an animal, your dog can go in and point that particular animal out. I really want to see just how functional these dogs can be. And again, it won't be long until we get to do exactly that. Now, another little thing here from Jaxy.
There's some new multi-mounts coming. That's a treat.
We are indeed getting new multi-mounts. And I'm curious, will it be waterfowl? Will it be Great One related? I'm kind of leaning that way. There's already fox and pheasant multi-mounts, so I guess we'll have to wait and see, but Jaxy specifically said he wants us to show them off in early access, so you can bet we'll be taking a peek at that probably in our very first video in early access. Now we also get to see the pointer coats. We've got 6 different ones: liver ticked, liver, liver roan, liver white patched, and liver white patch ticked. There's none of these I don't like. I don't know which one I want to choose. I might go with the white patch because I feel like that's maybe a little bit different. But I do like both of the ticked varieties as well. I feel like that's your typical GSP kind of coloration. We got a quick look, by the way, at the expert dog and how you can have the 2 different skill sets. We didn't get to see how you actually give a dog expert dog because Jaxy's dog already had it going into the stream. But pointing and tracking, pointing and retrieving, etc. I feel like for this map, pointing and retrieving is the obvious choice because most of these animals aren't going anywhere if you even wing them. I mean, maybe a fox that you hit in the toe with like the 22H might run. Other than that, I don't see much point for a bloodhound on Salzwiesen Park anyway. Now, finally, feels like we have the longest page of notes. The clay and skeet range. Now, there's a shared scoreboard that everyone in the range can see, and it's going to record your shots and your scores. So you can have competitions with your friends, maybe just random competitions in multiplayer with anybody that wants to do that kind of thing. And there's a ton of modes. We get to see them all. Jaxy didn't show them all off, but you see them listed here, and I had to pause to actually write them all down. We've got single trap, double trap, random trap, and then random sporting. That one I don't fully grasp. We're gonna have to try that out. And then we've got single skeet low and high, double skeet, and random skeet. So a whole bunch of different modes to mess with that. There are marked standing locations with the distances listed, and you've got to be on one of those locations to be able to launch a target. You see, as Jaxy kind of walks around there, only when he's standing in one of those marked spots can he actually launch that clay. The double trap I thought looked legitimately challenging as Jaxy was doing it, and the range, this is maybe the one downfall in my opinion. It works like the range here on Hirschfelden. There's no reloading or chambering necessary. You can almost fire your guns as if they're semi-automatic. I might prefer to see that change. Just like for things like double skeet, double trap, if you're using an over-under shotgun and the 10 gauge came with it, or a double barrel shotgun generally, I feel like you should only have those 2 shots. A quick third shot when you're using a double barrel doesn't make sense. I think that might hurt any immersion for people that really want to get into clay and skeet shooting, especially if you do it in real life. That's the one thing I don't like. It's a small detail. Some people will like it because you can just go ham and fire as many shots as you want, but I definitely would prefer to see that change. And we did, by the way, speaking of difficulty and immersion and stuff, see the double skeet. That is going to require some good reflexes because those things are coming in hot. Like, Jaxy trying to get those things, obviously getting them both at the same time is one way to do it, but if you're trying to get both, like, turn up your DPI or your aim sensitivity or something, because I have no idea how else you're going to pull that off without getting the double shot. But it's really cool to see, not just that they're bringing Salzwiesen Park to the game, and dogs, and a weapon pack, and great ones. The clay range coming along with this too shows like there's an attempt to really bring fun stuff to the game that doesn't have to be just going out and hunting for diamonds, great ones, rares, whatever it is. I like that there's going to be a lot of stuff to do with this update, and I think a lot of stuff we will be doing in early access starting this weekend. I cannot wait to dive into that, but I think on that note, that is going to do it for this video. I wanted to cover everything that we saw in EW's livestream today. Let me know in the comments below, what's your favorite thing we saw here today? Is it the dog? Is it the weapons? Is it the clay range? Or is it the map itself? I'm really curious to see what you guys think of this little showcase. And again, it will not be long until we get our hands on this and really start to put everything through its paces. I think with that, that's going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.